What is going on, folks? I am Goat. Welcome back to the Frame Builds playlist. Yes, we are going to talk about the monk himself. Funny enough, aside from having some kind of a primer for a secondary, if you're really feeling that, which is highly unnecessary most of the time, Baruuk is good with just a melee. Okay, like, you technically don't need guns unless violence shows up or you fuck up and, like, get your abilities turned off. It's like a null combo. You know, one of the combos comes up and mag procs you, turns your abilities off, or a nullifier. You accidentally slide through, but usually you punch the bubble off the nullifier before that happens. The monk man himself here he's like the Hulk. He's mad all the time. People just kind of don't understand that. So the whole point behind Baruuk is basically to erode his restraint meter. So basically calm his ass down, you know, and let him loose, right? Let him just, I'm restraining myself, so let's pull this bitch back, wind the clock back, and let him get pissed off. So instead of, you know, like, you don't want me to get pissed off, you actually want Baruuk to be pissed all the fucking time. Now, this is an ensnare build. The shards, again, are completely up to you. This particular set of shards is probably completely counterintuitive because you could actually run Phylets for electric and melee, and that's a thing in itself. So parkour velocity, not necessary. Max on spawn, not necessary. Health, absolutely not necessary. More energy on spawn. I think I said health on spawn. Energy on spawn and energy on spawn. And again, this is an ensnare build. So there are a couple of things to focus on here. Obviously, Archon Stretch is going to tell you exactly what Desert Wind Prime is doing. Molt Augmented is highly beneficial because that's just more fucking stupid damage that you can throw at enemies. Arcane Strike is not so necessary. Like, you can do other things, but having more attack speed is nice. You can kind of put whatever the hell you want to on here. The two primary functions behind, well, really the three primary functions behind this entire build to really be as functional as it is Reactive Storm, Augment, Precision Intensify, Desert Wind, Extra Power, and Archon Stretch, Energy Regen. That's pretty much it. Okay, like, really functional. Brief Respite just gives you more shields. You know, Adaptation stops bad things from killing you. Stuff. Pretty straightforward. Like, ability duration, honestly, I have my personal preference is as low of ability duration as possible. That way his 2 kicks in quick, does its fucking job, and you just basically fuck people up. His 3 is just a survivability thing. Like I said, instead of the bullet winging horseshit that you can do with the first ability, that's all fine and dandy, but I would rather group enemies up and erode the restraint meter in a much more reasonable fashion. And then Desert Wind Prime, being the 4th ability, is this. Guess what? Melee influence. Sorry about your luck. Bet you were hoping for something crazier. Galvanized Reflex, again, because, you know, like, you can run Zeneric here. It's really not necessary so much. You know, like, so if you're not going to run Naramon, and you run and you're going to run Zeneric, okay, then, yeah, Galvanized Reflex is completely unnecessary unless you just stop meleeing for some reason. And considering that's kind of his bread and butter, it's really not necessary. Like, it's kind of not needed. So running Galvanized Reflex is really dependent on your focus school. I've just got it on here because, like, you can run anything else you want to. Okay, so, like, if you don't want that, you can simply just throw Gladiator Might on there. You really can. 100% can. You do lose efficiency, but again, you know, you've got Disciple's Merit, so really not much to worry about there. You're also stacking with Blood Rush. I mean, either way, this basically just makes it to where Blood Rush and Gladiator Might help Weeping Wounds all kind of even keel out a little bit. Just saying. It's up to you. You know, like, this is up to you. This is sky's the limit. Baruuk is so fucking good, you could fuck his build up and he's still really damn good. Sorry. So, let's watch Baruuk hurt people, because that's what Baruuk wants to do. He wants to be the anti-Hulk Hulk. Hey guys, I need everybody in the group. Let's have a hug. Big group hug, right? Here, let's just do it one more time. Here. Now, fuck you. See, the restraint meter eroding. Now, as you hit them more and more and more, it does become a problem. But then we just do this bullshit. And anybody that happens to be touched by this nonsense really doesn't like it. Like, they just kind of cease to exist, and it's a really good time. That's Baruuk. I mean, Baruuk is kind of broken. Much like Cyto 9. Okay, and this is going to sound like a weird comparison. Much like Cyto 9, I find Baruuk to be best run solo. That's not to say you can't run it with a group. But the problem that you do run into is that Baruuk wants to erode that restraint meter quite a bit, especially early on. And if you're running with a group of people that like to kill enemies really quickly, that becomes a bit of a problem. Because no sooner do you find a group of enemies to use restraint, they all fucking die. Or to erode restraint with his lull ability, they all just fucking die, and you've just wasted your time and energy. Just saying. That's also why the negative duration does help, because you can at least hit people rather quickly. And if you ensnare them and then hit them from a distance, you know, like ensnare from a distance, jump, or, you know, hit lull, you can kind of keep with the pack and make it really functional with a squad. Baruuk is just really fucking good. It's just the restraint meter coupled with the squad. That's my personal issue. But other than that, Baruuk is like basically a fucking punchy monk god. He doesn't like to die. He likes to hurt people. I guess he'd be a sadist with fists. So folks, that's it. That's all. Thank you very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?